Welcome, an emergency toolkit video for when you're in an argument with your wife, with your partner, with your girlfriend, and you've not been able to break the cycle that you're in, or maybe it's a vicious cycle that you're ending up in every time. This video will change everything for you. It helped me. It's based on experience, it's based on theory, it's been experience on working with men from more than 42 nationalities, and it will change everything in your relationship if you're open to take responsibility what I'm sharing here. And if you're not a man and you're watching this video, great, because what you probably will recognize are many parts from yourself in it. And also on the other side, you also understand why men are a little bit different when it comes to being in an argument, dealing with emotions, blame, shame, guilt, etc. But it will help you anyway. And what I will share with you, it's unique, but I'm a human being and I'm using words to convey my message. And in words, we're always missing nuances. So what I'm asking you to do is, if you literally want to have change and you know that change is possible, then go beyond your critical mind and explore what is possible when you apply the things that I'm sharing with you. So what most people are ending up with, let's call it here, emergency toolkit. Emergency toolkit. By the way, I think this video will last around 15-ish minutes, so then you have the whole body of knowledge to work with. Emergency toolkit. So when emotions rise, for example, you come home from your business, from your high pressure job, and she's asking you a thing to do, or she's blaming you, or she is stating that something you promised to do, you didn't do. And she's emotional about it. What men, and what we most of the time do, is we go into something what I call the land of the lost. Because if she's saying something, let's see, land of the lost, there is it. I need to draw a little bit more to that side. Let's see if I can make that happen. Yes, land of the lost. What we're going to do is, in the land of the lost, we're going almost into a battle with her. Battle. We're trying to win. And literally in our own language, we sometimes say, yeah, I can't win this. But if we would win, we would be in a disconnect. Because then one would be better, smarter, winning the argument. But that's not what a relation is based on. A relation is based on connection, becoming better than one, becoming one unit. But we're going into battle mode because when she's bringing something up in an emotional state, a few things are happening. First of all, we try to manage her emotional state. And she doesn't want to be managed. She first wants to be recognized for her pain. And secondly, that you execute on what she needs from you. And I'm not saying that she's always right. That's not what I'm saying. But her feelings, what she's feeling at the moment, those are absolutely true. But we as men have a way harder time feeling stuff. Most of the times, only some good feelings and superficial stuff. Many of the men that I'm working with come to me like, I would like to feel more. And if you think about it, from really early age, women, they are generalized in, yeah, they are so emotional, right? And we as men, like if we feel emotions, then you're a pussy or you're weak. Because as men, we're trained that emotions are a sign of weakness. And I'm generalizing, way more nuanced what I was saying. But if it's not your parents, if it's not your environment, then probably our friends at a certain point or the people that we hang out with, because they got examples from their home too. So we became masters in stuffing away our emotional stuff. It's a little bit like having that one room in a house where you have placed in all the unprocessed emotions, the emotions that you don't want to feel. But then you have your wife there being really emotional, being angry at you. And to get rid of the feelings that we're feeling, sometimes when we go into that battle mode, there is anger. But anger is hiding your true feelings. Because in many cases, what we would feel if we would step back, breathe, really reconnect and say, yes, what is it that I'm actually feeling behind the anger? I feel anger, and what do I feel behind it? Damn. I feel shame. I feel guilt. I feel grief. I'm feeling like I'm not good enough. And don't say that to her, because that's not going to work either. But what you're feeling is like you're, in a way, not a worthy human being. So, but instead of saying that, because those are all the family members when it comes to feelings that we don't want to feel, we have them stuffed away, and we used anger, and we used battle, and we used arguments and facts. Let's write that down too. Arguments and facts, why what she is saying, but also indirectly what she's feeling is not true. Because we're going to go into facts and arguments. I didn't do this, but honey, I did this, and I had such a long day at work. So you just need to understand. Or you just need to ... That's the worst mistake that you can make. It's like putting gasoline onto fire. It's like, pfft, because she's in an emotional state. She's probably feeling alone. She doesn't feel like a team. She feels the disconnect, especially when you go into those facts, cognitive arguments that you bring in. So she's feeling more alone, more separated when you bring in that. So that's all part in the land of the lost. What is needed is that we go into another land, the land of connection. Just to be clear, I'm not talking about who's right or who's wrong. That's not really relevant. If you're working on the level of right or wrong, you stay in the land of the disconnect or the land of the lost. If you want to move into the land of connection, you should lead with two things: honoring her emotional world, because what she's feeling is true for her. Can it be uncomfortable for us to be in the presence of her emotional state? Yes, become better in it. And secondly, what is it that you feel behind the anger, entering shame and guilt, and come back with that? So go into connection with yourself and with her by leading with what you feel. Leading with what you feel and honor. And if you go take it to the next level, feel her pain. Because if she feels alone in your relationship and she has the courage in a way to bring it up. Maybe not in the most effective, ideal way of delivery, but sometimes we need that, guys, to let it sink in. She still has the fire in her belly to bring it up. The moment she wouldn't bring it up anymore and she would just be like, oh yeah, that's just who he is, that's a recipe for disaster. I would be worried if my wife wouldn't lead sometimes with that fire anymore, because that would mean that she wouldn't care probably in most cases. So length of connection is taking a step back, feeling what you're actually feeling, also feeling what she's feeling, and then coming back with what you actually are feeling. And that would look like, to give a practical example, in the past, my wife sometimes had a tendency when she became really angry or upset with me, she would raise her voice to a level that I would become like a tortoise. I would like retract myself. And I had something to learn there. But I also noticed that, hey, I would really love to hear what she is saying, but I can't let the message come in anymore. So when I take a step back and I would feel myself, hey, I'm going into that contraction mode. That's a disconnect. So I would say, honey, I would love to hear what you're saying, but if you would raise your voice to this level, I can't hear you anymore. And I really want to hear you. I also ask this question myself a lot. Like when she's upset with me, I'm asking myself this question: where didn't I take my responsibility? And from a linguistic perspective, you could say, hey, but that's negative. But for me, I'm using it in a positive way, because most of the times, like what I see with the men that I'm working with is like, many of us are still a little bit in teenager mode or in puberty. Like, oh yeah, if I don't do it, she will do it. And I'm not saying with everything and everybody and all the time. That's not what I'm saying. But if I'm asking myself like, hey, where didn't I take responsibility? The brain in my filters would open up and I would say, yeah, on that part, I didn't take responsibility. And on that part, that's more her thing. And that gives me input to go back to honesty, truth, what I'm feeling, and entering that land of connection with her anytime. So this is a really short and hopefully simple explanation on just stepping back for a second. Say, hey, we're now in this argument with each other. You also need to take some leadership. Like in this bashing with each other, I noticed that I'm bashing you. I don't want to do it. Keep it with you. You say, hey, give me 1 second. You breathe, you feel. Maybe there are tears. And you come back and you lead and go into the land of connection, leading with what you're feeling, honoring her pain, honoring her message. And from that point, you can explore like, hey, where you probably need to take more responsibility. And don't solve it by hiring all the time external resources. Just explore with her what would work for the both of you. I hope this is helpful. Let me know by just giving me a reply in social media, email, or whatever. And if you need some help with it, I'm there. Let me know. But also if you have questions about applying these techniques that I'm bringing in, enter the land of connection. Take your relationship to the next level. You can do it.